Well, a bit of a grey morning here at the man cave, but good morning all the same. Yeah, it is a bit grey. This is episode 6. There's a lot to come, there really is. I'm very sorry, but there is a lot to come yet. This is a break away from the hairpins, though. This is another aspect of Norway I wanted to have a look at, and this is gravel roads. But before I go to the first gravel road, I'm just putting a little clip in of a visit I made to somewhere that's important to me. It won't be of interest to a lot of people, admittedly, but I needed to go there. I needed to see this place for my own satisfaction. But either way, off to the campsite at Donbass, or whichever way to pronounce it, I don't know. And then across to the two gravel trails in actual fact. Well, the first one, which I'm going to include in this video, is to the top of a mountain called Blaho. I don't know how you pronounce it though. B-L-A-H-O-E. Blaho or Blaho. I think the Norwegians pronounce it Blaho. But either way, it's a lovely gravel trail, not too rocky, nice and straightforward, safe enough for me on my own, up to the top of this mountain where there's a very spooky, on the day in particular, communications tower. It was cloudy, the cloud was coming in and going out, and it did look a bit spooky. But either way, that's what this one's about. It's about the gravel trails anyway. So, as usual, have a look through it, see what you think, and let me know. Alright? See what you think. Well, it's a busier ferry this time, much more traffic on it, but perfect timing really. Just arrived after they started loading. Same ferry we came across on earlier, but going back the other way. I'm doing. Satnav's telling me to take the ferry, so I've got a choice. Side stand out, in gear. Job is a good one. Well, having just got off the ferry just a few minutes ago, we're heading along the road to, now I don't know if it's pronounced Donbass, it's spelled Donbass, but I think it's pronounced Donbass. Spelled the same as the place we've read so much about or heard so much about in Ukraine, but very different obviously. But up in front of us, on the right hand side of the road, you can see the craggy area we're coming towards. This is the bit of mountain scenery, if you like, that contains Trolltind, this mountain, about 5,600 foot high mountain. But the face that we're looking at, and we're going to pull up in front of, is the Troll Wall. In actual fact, it's 3,600 feet of vertical rock. Highest expanse of vertical rock in Europe is this, and I'll tell you more about it when we get there. I've stopped here because this thing up above us is spectacular rock scenery in any case. But this is Trolltind mountain. It's okay, it's 5,600 feet high. It's not the biggest mountain in the world by any means. It's not the biggest mountain in Europe. It's probably not the biggest mountain in Norway. But the face that we're looking at, this is the Troll Wall. And it's the biggest expanse, or the highest expanse of vertical rock in Europe. It's about 3,600 feet of vertical rock, and this was the last great problem back in the 60s in mountaineering terms. It was first climbed in '65 by a Norwegian team, and then a British team led by Tony Howard was the second team to climb it. This is only of interest to climbers really, admittedly, but to me this is it's part of what I am, really. But Tony Howard's party narrowly beat another English party, one of whom was one of my favourite climbing partners. He was a guy I climbed with during the 80s. Jerry Rawson, his name was, or Dr. Gerald Rawson, to give his full title. He was a professor, and he was in the party, the second British party to climb the Troll Wall. It doesn't look that much from here, but believe me, that is 3,600 feet of vertical rock, and I was so proud to have climbed with one of the guys who's climbed this thing. Like I say, it was the last big problem back in the 60s, was the Troll Wall as it's known. Cruel irony with Jerry, he was a food hygiene professor. When we were away on climbing parties, we'd be having all sorts of concoctions, and he'd be the one to say, you know, that could be carcinogenic. The studies have shown that stuff can be carcinogenic. There's only one of our group that succumbed to cancer, and that was Jerry himself. But he'd understand me laughing. He's up there now, taken by cancer quite some years ago now. But it gives you some idea of the size of it by the patch of permanent snow just up there to the right. But that's the Troll Wall anyway. Yeah, it's still recording, but the battery is nearly flat, believe me. So that's the Troll Wall anyway. It's something I've wanted to see for a long time, and now I've done it. Okay, cheers. So we're camping tonight in the town of Donbass. This will do nicely. Time to leave. A delightful campsite. What's these lovely little wooden buildings? Not a bad looking morning. Going to try and find a gravel road up to a mountain peak this morning, Blaho. But first of all, we'll go and get some fuel. Let's pay at the pump as well. Adieu. See you later. Going into Vagamo. This is where we'll be leaving the road at some point, not too far, up into the hills on the gravel track. So we'll see what happens. Blaho, 15 kilometres, we're bang on, so there should be a toll booth, well not a booth, but a toll post somewhere. This is absolutely beautiful up here. That's it, we're on the gravel. Look at these houses, they're absolutely stunning. All timber. send me a bill. Okay. Built for all roads, built for no roads. Absolutely. And the view from the top of here should be absolutely tremendous. On to corrugations. Massaging my spine. Yeah. Going to switch off for a little while. Quite a lot of this, so you know. And we're back. It's a little bit stonier further up. It's okay. The view. Unfortunately, at the very top is in cloud. I was hoping that might not be the case, but never mind, never mind. The mountain is actually called Blaho. Blaho or Blaho, I don't know. Don't know the height yet. There's a communication tower on the top of it, so no mistaking it when we get there.
Well, it's a bit drafty up here, and I reckon the views are going to be better on the way back down again. So I'm going to switch off just for a couple of minutes until we get really close to the summit and see what the view's like up there. So I'll see you in a bit.
Thomas Hansen. This has been towards the top of my shopping list for quite some time. Closed in again for the minute. There we are. We've reached the top. Quick! Get a photo. That'll do. Let's go down again now. Blaho. Blaho Summit, Blaho Tower. Very nice to be clearer, but at least we got to see it. Right, I'll switch off and I'll catch you further down. Well, the views are most definitely better coming down, but then they often are, aren't they, you know? So now we've got a view down into both valleys. Down to the left is the valley we came up from, and down to the right is the valley that came down from Donbass this morning. So we travelled down that road, way down there below us, and then cut across into this valley over to the left here. It was certainly worth it. I'm going to take a photograph. Switch off for a while now, carry on getting to the bottom. I think I might celebrate with an expensive cup of coffee. So I've just come for a celebratory cup of coffee in Vagamo. What have we found? An 850 Commando, proper Commando. Beautiful to see. I think the owner's there. Well, I've just been chatting with those the Norton owner and his friends, and they've just explained quite a lot to me. And these little stalls that we see around, these are honesty shops. You take what you want and you leave what you want. That's worth knowing. That's worth knowing. So if I want to get some eggs to cook something, I found one of these places. Marvellous. Again, absolutely marvellous. So, try to go and find Jotunheim Vegan now. I'll see you in a bit.